Goes. This should be working. Hello, 1 2 check. Sorry, I had a few audio issues that I just had to sort out. Should be back now. Here we are, just waiting for our guests to show up. Make sure I've got all my stuff and thing. How are we doing? Am I here? I guess I should check. Is it coming? I don't know. Yeah, there we go. There's something going on. Can you hear me? Don't need to play those streams coming back at me. Hey, how you doing? Hey, so I'm going to quickly just play you. You know, remember a couple of episodes ago I was talking about summer projects and what I was going to do. I was going to try and start a fishing channel. Well, I did. Here's my first video. Okay, well, I'm here at Chew Valley. I'm on Wally Bank. I'm going to try and see if there's anything about it. It's a bit bright. I thought it was going to be a bit duller today, but there's quite a lot of cloud about. So maybe something will get in front of the sun and we'll have a bit of it dim. I'm going to go for fluorocarbon, particularly because it's actually quite sunny today, so I'll sink a bit better and be a bit less visibility. So flies today, I'm going to go for, I just bought these at the shop, so I'm just going to go for one of each, because I suspect it's all going to be about dialbacks today. So I'm going to try that guy. I think that's a dialback, but red ones are doing okay, so that looks quite red. For here I'm going to use this guy, which is a kind of, I don't know, lymph dialback type of thing. I'm afraid I'm not that good with the names of flies yet, and I go for about a sort of, what's that, about 6 inches, and I find that's a good length because it stops the tangles. At least it seems to make them less bad, although it's quite windy today. I'm probably going to get loads of tangles. That's probably about 11 12 feet. I'm just going to give it the mud treatment. So we'll try this little spot first. This is where I come a lot. It's a bit windy, I might have to go around the corner, but can't do any harm just to drop a couple in, see how we get on. You never know. So on the bank here there are two very big, I think they're piped guides. They're sort of concrete pads that go out diagonally that way. So if I come up here a little bit, I'll be able to get to, but the other side of them there's this sort of deeper water. So if I start here, it is pretty windy actually. Not quite sure how that's going to play with my, so at least it's the right way around, so the wind is coming from the sort of from the south pretty much. I thought it was further around than that. Let's see anyway, let's see if we can get anything. It's actually really windy. Wow, okay, this might be a bit ambitious. Wait for the wind to drop a bit, we should be able to get it out a bit. Oh, I can get a decent distance today. I've just cleaned the line, that makes a huge difference. That's given me another probably 10 feet I think, without trying all that hard. And it rolls over really nicely. Wow. What is that? Hello mate. That is a baby perch. Sorry buddy. Yeah, that's a baby perch. I think you might be Might not be history. Go on. Yeah. Well, there we go. Little tip for you when you've got this horrible mess, or you just tackle up for the night and you wind all your wire up, your line up. What I do is put it inside a big freezer bag, Ziploc bag. You can stick it in. I'm going to keep that one because I'm just going to put it on. So you can put the whole lot in. Just get all your line in, and that doesn't get tangled up in the zip and whatnot. And then later on another day, you can just come back to it, take all the flies off, stick them back in the fly box, see what's what. But I just find that is a lot easier to manage. It also means you're unlikely to leave it on the bank, which is not what you want, obviously. Let's have a look. Let's get I need to get the Uncut on there. I know that fluorocarbon's supposed to be heavier and perhaps not require sinker, but sometimes you just need to degrease it a bit to help it break the surface tension as well. That one, and then carry on going that way. And I might, just for a laugh, try a little pop of floatant on there, just to keep it up in the water a bit. I mean, where's the harm, eh? So just take a little bit of that. Just gonna put it around the hackles a bit. Oh, that was a rise over there. I saw that. Bloody hell. That feels big anyway. Certainly on the run. Wonder what that took. All right. I wonder if it is worth weighing. Oh, seems like a reasonable size from first show. Let's get the net up. He's got a lot of legs. I don't think he's ready for the net yet, that's for sure. Wow. So, change of fly, and we'll be interested, what did it take? Top one. That ain't a bad fish. Still got a bit of legs. And well, that one is going for the pot. That was pretty quick then, wasn't it? That's a wow, frisky fella. Wow, so changing to a red one. This is it's quite a strong fighter. Look at that, taking a lot of line off. I don't know if I'm going to get this one in. Blimey. This feels bigger, but you never know because they fight so well, these fish. So I just put a red dial back, stroke buzzer type thing. And which one did it take? Took the dial back. I've never seen a change of fly work so quickly. Okay, let's get you in. Sort it out. God, he was very keen to be off. Right. Let's get him back in as quick as possible. Oh mate, just need to perk up a bit. Let's get you the right way up. There you go. Indulge me, I can't actually find the YouTube channel URL because I'm logged into the Sonic channel, and if I unlog in, goodness knows what will happen to the live broadcast. Something drastic, I'd imagine. But that's the first attempt. But seeing as I only ever go to the same place, it might be kind of tricky to do more, because they'll all be much the same, I expect. Although you can catch much larger fish than that in that lake, for those who have an interest. But thank you for indulging me. I'm sure most of you aren't interested in that. Otherwise, you'd probably be watching Fish Talk or whatever instead of Sonic Talk. Right. Fish wasn't dead. No, one of them did die because I cooked it. So it would have had to, but I usually put them back, and they very rarely do suffer. And I've caught myself on a hook as well, so I know what it feels like. I mean, it's not in the mouth, but bloody hell, it hurts. But when you pull it out, it's actually less painful than I was anticipating, because I got stuck in this finger really badly, and I was standing there on the bank for ages going, what am I going to do, what am I going to do, what am I going to do? And then I just got the pliers and I yank, and it was like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad. But, oh, God, I was in a right state, thinking I was probably going to scream or something. Yeah, maybe I should do some soundtracks for it as well. I could combine the two. There's a lot of kittens on synths. What about fish on synths?
I'm having huge problems trying to find... Hi, Nick.
Hey, there we go. Hello, you're live. Hey guys.
Get that chair, buddy. Oh, I'm going to sit over here. Yes.
Tell you what, I'll turn you down just so that you don't say anything that incriminating. Okay, now I got you. That's Rich. You are very low in a seat. That's the only thing I would say about that, Rich. You're kind of.
I don't even. Yeah, I know. I'm new here. You know, working on it.
You need more gas in your chair.
Well. Trust me, there's plenty of gas in that chair. It's not what we need in this small room. No, but it's possible that this thing...
Yeah, sounds all right. It's not too roomy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it does? Because he's running around trying to hook up a microphone.
That's not too bad.
So if our biggest problem is camera angle and not audio... See, I can't hear you very well. Hold on.
Okay.
And I don't even know where...
Well,
go ahead and speak. I'll be.
Okay, yeah, that's me. I was told last week that I was way too quiet, so I've upped the gain on my mic a bit. So, so there we are. So have you?
Now we have to compete. No, just kidding.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, camera angle is going to be challenging. Does it look like you're?
Yeah, I can
you're
see
sitting
that.
in,
there is a higher.
There must be a way to angle it.
Yeah, well.
You need to wait for the proprietor to return.
I'm all about expediting right now. Yeah. Now we're a little closer.
That's all right.
Well, it's not quite. So 2 questions, my friend. First of all, yes. While we're waiting to get headphones together, how can I turn up these speakers slightly?
Hey, Ken.
Hi, Nate. How's that?
Hello.
There we are.
Yeah.
Nick says this microphone actually sounds pretty good.
It's okay. I mean, it's because it's not too roomy. It's okay. You don't have to freak out about it. The camera angle's a bit dodgy, though.
Yeah, if we can get a little more... It doesn't seem like it rotates very well. All right.
That's got you in there.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Motown shirt. Nice. Let's have a look. We go 4's up. I just premiered my fishing video.
Oh, I see that. What is that? That's the chair. Oh, okay. That chair is what we want because we want the two of us. We want a two-shot, as they say.
I got it the wrong way around, haven't I? Let me see if I can fix that. Hold on one sec.
Right treat. I hope that was for me.
Just one sec. Let me turn up.
Is there an adapter open? There you go, there's a set of Sennheisers for you.
Where?
The adapter's been stolen.
I've got the estimable Ken Spong on the case. Are we actually going out live right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just premiered my fishing video. I think we might have a much smaller live audience this week as a result.
Because of what?
I premiered my fishing video.
So they're all on the banks of whatever that river is now with their fly rods and their...
Yeah, or they're all going, no, I don't want to watch this. I'm going...
Forceps. I was admiring your forceps technique for removing the hooks. That was very nice.
You couldn't hear anything like that.
Hello and welcome to... Oops. Not sure what happened there. Pressed the wrong button.
Jump forward in time. You hearing anything out there?
I haven't listened yet. I'm sorry. Okay. Is there a right and a left? There must be. It's hard to tell. Yeah. That looks like I'll take a guess. Red one's right. Red probably. Yeah. Okay, never mind. Speak to me, Nick.
Hey, yeah, I'm speaking to you.
I'm hearing.
I think we're hearing something in monitors.
I do hear you. I need a little more, but I hear you.
Yep, okay, well, I can speak. I can speak and speak and speak. I am indeed speaking, and therefore you should be hearing. You should be hearing, and just me.
Why am I?
All right, try that.
Can you keep talking to me for a minute?
Yeah, sorry, I can keep talking. Gaz should be joining us shortly. I'm just checking the lighting. I've got new lights, which make the video look a little bit better this end. So I'm not so green as usual. It's not sunlight. It's not like you, where you've got real daylight. We can't have real daylight here. It's too inconsistent, especially in this country.
Oh, let's go at it. Let's go. Let's talk about the weather.
All right.
It was extremely British out yesterday, actually, where I am.
All right. Okay. Let me see. I might be able to EQ you a little bit because there's just a wee bit of boxiness there, which I could probably sort of.
Good news is the display.
Let's have a look here.
Is it all working?
EQ. Let's try that. I reckon that'll help. So that's probably about 500. Let's have a bit of speech then, Rich, and I can deboxify you.
Okay, so in thinking about Colin McDowell's new product, let's consider on a per channel cost what that actual price means.
Yeah.
How am I doing so far?
Yeah, I'm just getting a bit more.
Okay. What else can I tell you about? I can tell you that yesterday afternoon, I spent 4 hours having lunch with Andy Taylor, and I hadn't seen him in many years, and we're very good friends, and I really enjoyed the time we spent together, and it was great. And,
nice.
Ate some smashing Middle Eastern food up by Paddington. That was terrific. Just off the chain. I love this place. How's the audio training coming?
That's looking good.
Good. Shall I move on to the next topic?
A seagull curve. That seems to be the one I'm going for.
Okay.
You know the thing. It's like that. All right. So, Ken, are you going to be able to hear?
You can do a couple of dB.
Pardon me?
Just a couple of dB on the speaker, so I can hear. We've only got the one, apparently.
Okay.
Just a tiny.
Whoa!
Down.
I see. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Hello. 1, 2, checkity check. Wow, there's something. Yeah. There's something distorting there.
Hold on.
Here.
Yeah. Hello. And we got Gaswaldo Williamson. Oh, nice image quality. No audio, but that could be because. Where are you?
Probably the first time you've had a chance to use that dim button. How's that?
Yeah, that's the first one that Rex been used.
Good thing I showed up. No, I'm just kidding.
Nobody knows how to use it.
Troubleshooting
I've
your
got
accent.
no audio with you, Gaz. Let me just see. Let's see if there's a reason. Let's see.
It's horrible. I'm sorry.
You must have us had all the problems. Get fun.
Let me see. So looking for Gaz.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, got you.
Yeah,
Where
great. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Just looking for your channel. I can't find your actual.
Oh, okay. Coming in on what?
Yeah, there we go.
I'll just throw it
Okay.
in city mode. No, I'm just-
Cool. That nonsense coming from in there. Hello, Kent.
Hello. Hi, Gaz.
Hiya, Rich. Okay,
Hello.
we're good. Well, we're good here anyway.
Great. What have you got? A different camera, Gaz?
I'm filming at the moment. So I've got lighting going on and various other bits and bobs. But
Looks
no,
great.
this is actually okay. That's cool. That's good to know. I'm
Just
not
looks
looking
like a
great.
different angle. Looks wider and more.
Okay. Oops.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Gaz-
Cool. I'm very glad to be here.
Sorry, what did you say?
Do you guys? I said Gaz is louder than Nick.
Okay.
Oh.
That's all right. No,
Well, I
I'll
am.
deal.
I mean,
I'll deal with that. Yeah,
is
generally
the general-
speaking.
Generally speaking, that's true.
I
How's
just
that
meant in this particular case.
Cool,
Is that as low
Gaz,
as it
there we
goes?
go. I got it. For some reason, the channel had disappeared down its own.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, just gotta get a little movement. It doesn't have to be profound.
No. Neat.
Okay, I think we're nearly there. 1, 2.
Woo-hoo!
So I've got my level. I've got your Gaz. Can you give me a bit more of your level?
Yep. Hello, everybody. Very happy to be here. Hello. Yes.
Okay, and a bit more
turned
from
into a
you,
nice day.
Rich.
Okay, it's nice to hear Gaz's voice.
Excellent.
Too long.
Okay. All right, I think we got it. I think we're there. Let me just hit a go on that that bit there. I got to find my Facebook page. Oh, am I a bit dark?
I need to move this.
Let's see. Is that better? Yeah, I got different lights as well, guys. I got the. I've got one of those newer tech lights that was just here because it was just so horrible
great. That's
previously.
That's
It's a
why
lot-
I've got a couple of these newer.
Yeah, they're good. Newer.
Newer. Another one
right.
of these companies. So many millions of them now. Companies I've never heard of before in the tech business. Just it's like
Yeah.
if USB hubs. The amount of companies now it's just ludicrous. Anyway, hello chat room.
I tried that.
You can't fight in here. It's the war room.
I tried that. Didn't work. Okay.
Great. It's a nice day now. We've been having terrible weather, but it seems to be all right now.
Yesterday
Just having a look to see whether
was
my.
awfully British around here.
Was it? Oh no.
Yes, it was.
Okay, there we go.
Well, upper.
Right. So we got you guys. Ken, I can't hear. I need to hear you as well. I think just to make sure that we got because you're a bit further back, so you might be quieter.
Okay. Is that all right?
I think so.
Does that sound
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, it's a bit more roomy because you're probably looks like you're a couple of feet away, so you get a bit closer in.
probably am. Yeah.
There we
Get
go.
comfy.
There we go. That works better. Hello, chaps. Right. Okay. So we have action. Right. Okay. Right. I got that going. I just need to go. Right. Everybody ready? Yes,
I'm ready.
is the answer. Okay. Stand by. Hello everybody, welcome to Sonic Talk, episode 585, recording today on Wednesday, it's the 31st of July, so yeah, heading into full-on summer here. We have had a bit of that, but it doesn't always feel like it in this country. But that's so British of us to talk about the weather, as my first guest was mentioning on the in the preamble to the show. This is it's not a podcast about weather, this is the music technology podcast to do all things to do with music technology, so synthesizers, software, all the sort of industry surrounding it, controllers, electronic music production, live music production, all of those things too. So sit back, probably about an hour. I want to say if you're interested in winning Isotope's fantastic Neutron 3 mixing plugin, then stay tuned because there's a competition about halfway through the show or somewhere between now and the end. So you'll just have to stay tuned. Right, let's say hello to our first guests. We got two of them, two for the price of one. We got a twofer going on there. As Mr. Rich Hilton there on the right, as you will know from Chic, he's actually on the road with Chic at the moment, and I guess this must be an afternoon off. On the left here we have Mr. Kent Spong, who you may remember we did a podcast with because he was the first person to contribute the Sonic Talk theme show, which was was it using Votox and the kind of symphonic choirs plugins, Kent? I can't remember now the exact details. Oh, and he's gone. I think we're having a bit of there seems to be a bit of video bandwidth issues. All right, maybe you guys can have a look at that because I can see you nodding and smiling, so that's a good start. Let's say hello to maybe the thing to do, chaps, is just try a reconnect and see if that gets us a little bit better. You just come straight back in and you'll be back in the room, as it were, which was in fact the title of last week's show. How about that for a bit of continuity? We have Mr. Gaz Williams as well, who's looking very well in his video studio. But projection, I see you got a video light above you and the sun's shining in. How are you, Gaz? You well?
Yeah, good, thank you. I am making a lot more content from here, but it's boiling hot at the moment. So,
yeah.
It's been, and also like because I work in the attic. When the hail, I mean, God, we had like really manic hailstorm, didn't we? You know, it's like deafening in here. So, but yeah, I'm making a load of cool stuff at the moment. So watch out for that because it's a lot of fun. I got some new kit that allows me to make more filming from in this studio. So it's going to be some stuff for Sonic coming from here and some bits and bobs. Hooray!
Hooray! Well, excellent. And don't forget, Gaz. We posted Gaz's interview with Dave Smith yesterday from Superbooth, which is really good. That's a great interview.
And it's the first of a 3-part series. So I won't say who's coming in the next episodes, but there's 3 in this Meet the Makers extra series. Which what we tried to do with this one, just to differentiate it from the ones that Nick's done already, is focus maybe less on the actual equipment and a little bit maybe more on influences and sort of underlying philosophies and things like that. So this interview with Dave is really nice because it's actually talking about music and his music taste and his musical inspirations. You know, there's a little bit of gear talk, but it's mostly sort of mostly about kind of music, funnily enough. So yeah, it's brilliant. But what an honor! And what a lovely job.
Oh yeah, one of the nicest chaps.
Yeah,
one of the many nice chaps that there are in the music business. We're going to
right.
Yeah, so we're and women as well, of course. That's not, but sadly, anyway. Studio 2, come in, please. Have we got you now?
Hi there.
Hey,
how are we doing?
Yeah, that's a little better. So yes,
okay.
Kent. Sorry, I asked you a question about because you did the first theme tune, the first external theme tune. Was that symphonic choirs?
No, Yeah, it was using
Yeah.
the word builder.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's right. I remember. Sonicstate.com. That's right. Yeah, excellent.
Classic.
Kent, of course, as you can see there's the corner of a mini Moog above Rich's left shoulder there. Kent is one of the master synth restorers, fixers that there is in the country. We're very lucky to have him. I'm surprised you've got the time, because there's very little time to... you must be busy, because these things take time, right, Kent?
Yeah, I'm not doing so much restoration these days. It's mostly just straightforward repairing,
Right, okay.
which is quicker.
Ah, so you're whipping through them. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Right, let me get on to, let's see where we are this week. Again, it's kind of, it's the summer season. There seems to be a lot of mergers and acquisitions and whatnot this week. But first of all, let's take a look. Actually, one of the first things, which is fascinating. I don't know if you know, Reverb.com been making massive inroads into a sort of specialised musical instrument marketplace. We've done deals with them in the past. They've sponsored various bits of content. We've had advertising from them and whatnot. But they just sold out to Etsy. Etsy bought them for $275 million in cash, which is kind of quite a mind-blowing thing. And we're just wondering what this might mean in terms of what's happening, because obviously it means the second-hand market is actually pretty buoyant if it supports that kind of thing, which is an interesting concept. I would just wonder, there's a great piece on CDM Link, which is by Peter Kerr, which is Etsy buys really signaling used music gear market. And it's just there's some interesting analysis about what that might mean for where people are going to for their new gear. And I mean, certainly in the non-musical instrument world, I'm seeing there's loads of people sort of buying stuff at car boot sales and second-hand stores. In fact, my partner went to a car boot sale on Sunday and bought me a Pierre Cardin suit, which actually fits for £5. So there I've now got a Pierre Cardin suit, which can replace my my normal linen wear. But I mean, as a sort of wider rule, it's just generally interesting about how maybe people are more prepared to be buying used equipment, and this is a kind of signaler, I suppose. So maybe you two guys would probably be ideal place, because Kent, obviously you're working with a lot of used gear. I mean, is some of the stuff you fixing things for people who've bought it and then want it restored, not restored, but fixed so it works, or people who have got something they want to sell and they're fixing it so they can sell it? I mean, are you finding there's an upturn in the general exchange of said goods?
Yeah, I mean, probably from both sides, actually, whether it's get it done to sell, or they've just bought it and it's not quite as good as they hoped. So, yeah, there's a lot of movement on that. And, as you go from trends to trends, so one day, 1 week I'll have maybe 6 or 7 ARP Odysseys coming all of a sudden to go out for sale, or CS80s or Jupiter 8s. Mind you, Jupiter 8s are all the time, to be honest.
Wow, okay.
So, so it does kind of...
That's the sort of top end. I guess that's the top end of the market. And I guess, if you've got something like that, you're really going to want it. Sorry, Rich, I know you wanted to come in there. I could see you were ready to jump in.
You asked earlier, what does it mean? And I thought, well, it means that the original owners of Reverb.com just bought a really nice boat. But,
Yeah.
But in addition to that, all know brick and mortar is a bit of a knife, especially instrument businesses are. You might have a store still left, but the issue isn't as fierce as it was 20 or 25 years ago. Online.
Man.
I don't have any statistical system.
No, Rich, I'm so sorry. You're back. That was kind of fairly garbled. There's a lot of breakup there. I don't know if there's a possibility. Are you on wired or wireless internet? I didn't know whether there's, if it can be wired, it would. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
shall I give it another shot?
Give it another shot. Yeah.
With the diminishing retail activity that's taking place in general in the culture in terms of vis-a-vis Amazon and other online sales item outlets, and also in the music business, it's not surprising to me that used stuff is being traded more freely. It probably started over at eBay, but now Reverb is a major player in this world, and I'm not surprised by any of this, actually, and it's impressive. I'd like to go on that boat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, it's not all theirs because they've got funding from various kind of. Actually, a lot of the people who contributed to the investment are not just VCs. There's people like Rick Nielsen, Dave, from various David Lowery of Cracker and Camper Van Beethoven, so there's a spread. So there are people who are in, which is always nice to see people who understand the industry that they're investing rather than just being straight, I can make some money here. I'm sure that's probably a prime motivator as well, but at least.
I wonder if Nielsen has a few guitars for sale. He apparently has a huge and impressive collection of very, very unique and original guitars. So, that were custom made for him. A lot of them are Hamers with like one pickup and one knob, and they're all in plaid and stuff. And he's got all these really, really unique guitars.
Right? Do you think he gets? Do you think he gets an owner's discount, trading discount, so seller's fees reduced?
No, and he probably doesn't need to buy the company to sell them on there. But still, I think he's really just interested in gear. He's a fan. He's a player and a fan, like most of the guys who play, actually.
But that's kind of encouraging. I think that's encouraging, though, isn't it? That there is some there's some investors with an inside knowledge. I mean, in the industry. I know, Gaz. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, for us, certainly, I mean, imagine, you've been doing this video stuff, so therefore you kind of bought things. You could have waited to find some lights on second hand, but it's like, shit, I really need this tomorrow. So you would use Amazon or one of the other retailers. But the second hand stuff is more of a waiter's market, or if you're lucky enough to get an eBay deal where the shipping is really fast. But it's an interesting idea, isn't it? I mean, do you buy and sell much used gear?
I'm terrible at selling stuff. I'm just terrible for it. I really hoarder really. But but buy stuff all the time. Etsy sort of feels like it's the sort of real winners of the internet over the years, like Amazon and eBay and Google or whatever. It feels like Etsy have just really got that model right. I mean, they've been doing, because Etsy typically is your makers, is like a specific place for people to set up their own shops to sell their own creative goods, lots of illustrators or people who make jewelry, that sort of thing, and
crafts and stuff.
Crafts and stuff, and they've just kind of got it right. They've really kind of got it right, and subsequently can become very, very successful. In fact, they have Etsy events, like they've had some here in Bristol as well, where local makers, or it's just essentially just like a market that they're hosting. But so they're even they're getting a cut of like local market stall things as well as their internet stuff. So they're very, very smart company there who've clearly seen that market, and so for them to want to acquire Reverb makes absolute sense. I was really surprised when I heard it, but when I thought about it, I thought, this now I can see Reverb becoming a lot more successful with Etsy's kind of parenting or whatever you'd call it. The idea of people having more like more personalized shops, which is essentially just like a skin for a Reverb shop in the background, and things I'm thinking about, like how I've seen Etsy stuff displayed. I can imagine, so Eurorack shops, for instance, all done really nicely, maybe even some VR, so you can walk around and look at things in 3D, and some clever stuff. But it also, the second hand thing also does kind of connect with something that's really picking up pace within certainly the Western world, which is this fixing things and
reuse. I mean, ecologically, it's good news, hopefully, as well.
I mean, that's really big in Sweden now, isn't it? The sort of repair kind of idea, and repairing things that were designed for one use, or built-in obsolescence, repairing things, just sort of trying to reverse this idea of disposable goods.
It's the other thing that's really interesting is the point made in Peter Kern's article is, perhaps that the rise of the second-hand market actually could reflect poorly on certain market sectors. This sounds very businessy, but I mean, like for instance, boutique Eurorack modular makers. Once you sort of need lots of new customers to kind of keep replenishing that, to be buying new stuff so that people can keep developing. So if it starts being sold secondhand and the new users are buying secondhand stuff, then the trajectory of new people coming in might actually slow down. So you end up with an overall smaller, the size of the market shrinks, but the reuse and the regurgitation of that stuff in the market becomes more useful, which is great. But then, I suppose in some ways, that's what led to the idea of planned obsolescence in the 1920s and 1930s, because people go, well, we need to make more stuff, so we need to make stuff that doesn't last as long. So therefore, therefore, and I wonder if, that's going to be a very tricky situation to be put in, because I assume that, you can't get away with that sort of behaviour anymore. So it's an interesting shape to the whole thing, but, fascinating. I know. Oh, Rich, you're headphoneless.
Yeah, I decided to give it a go. I can hear the speakers fine.
Okay.
I'm wondering, is there any talk, I didn't read the article, I confess, but is there any talk that they're going to go with brick and mortar stores, Reverb.com, that they're going to convert to an actual active retail organization?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the thing about Etsy is they've kind of taken that notion of little boutique shops that you would find on Melrose and places like that, and made them into online entities and given them the vibe. I mean, in some ways, it's very similar to that. What's the Bandcamp? It's a similar sort of concept. Makes it very easy to sell things, encourages people to get into that whole thing. I mean, I imagine you'd end up with situations like that is if they were smart, if they're big. I don't know how many users Etsy's got and how many users Reverb have got. Lots and lots. But you can imagine people then maybe going to a local market and setting up a stall and selling stuff directly to the punters. But what they're being provided with is the back end, so like a card reader and the kind of financial stuff. That Etsy and Reverb could combine the weight of that. So maybe there will be bricks and mortar out of it, but perhaps not by them specifically. Does that make sense?
So Etsy is normally a marketing company for smaller businesses that have a product.
Yeah.
Whereas, if I understand correctly, Reverb.com is a marketplace, not a product.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that a fair
Yeah.
assessment? So this is not a typical business foray for Etsy. This is sort of a new area for them. Is that correct?
I think so. Well, I think so, because I mean, you get the same thing with Reverb. Reverb, people sell lots of used kit, but also you have like micro shops on Reverb where people are actually, buying stock of, I don't know, say mini logs or Volkers and selling them in retail.
I have myself purchased a guitar for somebody who had it listed on Reverb.com. It was a brand new product. So I understand that they also do business in new and used products. But it is in itself a marketplace, which is an interesting business venture for this company, Etsy, I think. It's very interesting. Anyway, don't mean to belabor it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, I just thought it might have been a conversation spinner for kind of the way things are going, but maybe, maybe not. Anyway, let's get on to some product. This is shipping. This is the DSP APB16. And this is a really fine sounding soundtrack, I must say. We covered this very briefly from NAMM, which we saw it, but we didn't get a piece with it. It's basically a rack of analog circuitry that could be configured on the fly via software and D to A and A to D internally that then goes back over Thunderbolt. So you could build compressors, mic preamps, EQs, I think. I'm not sure. So we'll play the whole thing till it explains itself. 32-bit I/O, which is pretty. That should give you enough resolution. Lots of compressors. But apparently they're only the beginning. So the idea is really you take you plug this into your MacBook Pro, and rather than it being a DSP farm where you like Universal Audio, where you basically host these plugins, these are configured from actual analog electronics from within that analog farm. There are 16 channels. I think it's 16 IO. I don't know all that much about it aside from that, because there's little information about whether how many instances of A, B, or C you could run per channel. Or I'm not. Maybe you know a little bit better, Rich, because I know you are a fan of McDSP stuff, so you might have had more information come your way.
I'll admit that I know these people and like them. So disclaimer straight up front. But I don't know the answer to the question of whether it's running 16 compressors or whether it's running 16 full signal paths. I don't know the answer to that. It would be nice if it ran 16 full signal paths. But it's, I think, an absolutely revolutionary, bold, groundbreaking, nobody's ever done this before product.
Yeah.
And when you look at it on the basis of, let's say it is just 16 compressors, 16 of the world's greatest compressors in analog circuitry with all that conversion, et cetera, et cetera. What is that? $500? What is, I don't know. It's not a tremendous amount. It's on a per channel basis. If you were buying LA2As or LA3As or, you know, whatever, actual hardware driven stuff, it would cost you a bunch of thousands of dollars each.
Yeah, that's
so
very
it's
true.
not out of line, and it takes one rack space, and it's controllable from your software, and it supposedly sounds great and will live in your sessions. So I think it's an absolutely groundbreaking, revolutionary, exciting product. Do I have $8,000 to spend on one right now? No, but somebody does, and I hope he's very successful in it because I really like those guys.
Yeah, they are good, and that we've been doing. Colin McDowell is a legendary. Whenever we shoot some videos with him, he's like a coffee monster. He gets really hyped for his videos, and he really delivers kind of incredibly sort of high energy stuff. Brilliant. Yeah, it's about $7,000. I mean, it's not. I think is it $699. I think it is $699 US. That's probably plus tax, so that would probably end up. But yeah, it's a really interesting idea, and the concept of it being able to work. It works in the box but out of the box, so it gets converted but using the 32-bit A to D D2As in and out over the single wire. So that's the interesting idea. And I mean, yes, if you think, I mean, even if you bought, say, those Behringer, Clark Technic, whatever they are, you know, they're like $300 each. 16 of those would be $5,000. And that's nothing compared to what's going on inside this box, you know, and plus all the extra configurability and a much higher quality signal path. So, I mean, what you're getting there for value for money, you know, when you break it down, it's, yes, it sounds like a big chunk of change in one go, but, you know, it's not for me, obviously, because I wouldn't need it, but...
Well, it is less than $500 per channel.
Yeah.
And in Colin's video, in which he demonstrates the thing, which I did watch today, he actually runs something into distortion so you could hear it breaking up in analog and shows that it does not leave the digital domain as distorted, that all of the distortion is taking place in his analog circuitry, and it's nice and soft and even harmonic-y and just like you expect analog distortion to be. So he's like pegging the output of some compressor in one channel, and it sounded I
wonder
nice,
if it's kind of like a massive analog FPGA. Kent, does that make sense to you if I say those words?
Yeah, it does in a way. I mean, I'm not entirely sure about the whole engineering behind it, but it's kind of like taking like the UAD idea and then going to the next level. So instead of modeling the effects, you can now have them actually in their original, as it were, physical representation. And by being able to bring that backwards and forwards from the computer over 16 channels is incredible.
It is, and I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the processing that must be going on, you know, second by second from the units is, yeah, it's going to be really, really fast. It's a really brilliant idea.
Yeah. I know, Gaz, you like the sound of this? I mean, it's sort of like, you know, you see those studios with people have sort of BCM 10s or whatever, you know, they got 16 analog channels, and this is sort of the concept, the similar, although you still need I/O, you still got to get it in and out. So I don't know what the round trip is in terms of latency for real-time stuff. That would be interesting.
Oh, yeah. Do we know, is it, I wasn't assuming it was going to be used for real time. I was thinking of it entirely as a kind of mixed thing. But it's fast enough. We don't know that, do we? Or
no,
if it's over Thunderbolt, I guess there's no reason why it shouldn't be. It should be pretty quick, I guess. But But it's interesting because there have been, over the years, the different attempts to do something like this. Nothing is like exactly like this, but you can think things like the UAD stuff, and of course the ill-fated TC Electronic Power Core platform. Of course, all of these were digital platforms, but using external boxes. This being analog processing, the only thing I can compare it to, I guess, is the Electron analog drive, which is just a stereo channel. Now, of course, the thing about this as well, being analog means that when you print your tracks or whatever, everything is going to be done in real time, and that could put some people off because when you render your
so
mix
the bounce.
downs,
So yes, I see what you mean.
Just that is going to add at the end of a day or whatever a certain amount of extra time. So for the and that's for the analog, obviously, for that analog thing. I wondered about doing it at different sample rates and then just to see if you could get it quicker, the processing, and see what it sounds like when you put the sample rate back. But I think, the fact is it's just a box with no controls on it at all. Does kind of do that thing, though, which is a little bit of a shame, which takes away one of the advantages of hardware, which is the physical interaction with it, which I think goes a long way for when you're using analog gear, because you can be constantly tweaking it. And so this obviously it isn't the full analog experience. This is just the full analog sound experience, but the full interaction experience is, because I think that's what happens though. When you've got the controls, you are more likely to push it into drive it a bit harder. I think, I don't know, I might be wrong about this, than maybe when you're on the mouse or the trackpad, you might be a little bit less kind of but I think it still looks fantastic, and I think they'll do very well because it looks like something that's almost been, UAD are heading that way, aren't they, with
the Unison stuff.
That's right. So but this is, well done to them getting this out. Excellent. I hope now that a cheaper version could come out as well. 4 channels, or even a 2-channel one would be interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they must have had to invest in. A small, DSP, a big name, as often the case. They're probably not like a multi-billion-dollar company. They're going to be some small guys who probably need to just sort of suss out what they can invest in a platform like this, and then where they can go with it and see how it would work.
But I think a little 2-channel one though could be good if they're listening, just for the market as well, because I think they'd probably sell loads of them.
Yeah, well, the speculation seems to be it could be a combination of analog componentry and the FPGA, which, as we know, is a kind of it's a programmable set of paths. So, in fact, if you get the components right, you can then route the analog components in directions that in different configurations. So maybe it's that, but it would be interesting to find out. There's not a great massive amount of information on it, but I'm guessing because it's something so new that perhaps you're probably keeping it fairly close to home at the moment. Yes, let's just take a quick break and let's have a word from our friends over at Isotope.
Presenting Neutron 3, the modern way to mix. Bring your workflow into the 21st century with 8 modern mixing tools, all at your fingertips in one mothership plugin. Starting a mix can take a while, but with the all-new Mix Assistant, Neutron can listen to your audio and quickly suggest a custom starting point for an individual track, or set levels for your entire mix. Shape sounds like never before with the new Sculptor module. Match audio to a target sonic profile and instantly sculpt it to sound more like itself, or like something else completely. Reach out and touch your audio with Neutron's immersive controls and visualizations. Neutron 3 comes equipped with Visual Mixer, a tool to help you effortlessly manipulate the landscape of your mix. Neutron 3, the modern way to mix.
And of course, you can always download that free to, well, it's free to air, the demo version. You just go to isotope.com, check it out and get the download. I think you have to register for an account. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, Neutron 3, the modern way to mix. And we have a competition winner from last week. In fact, it's somebody called John Holstein, who I recognise from, who does very, very wordy comments on Sonicstate. Obviously thinks a lot. A very smart guy by the sounds of him. Anyway, I'm so glad that you got picked this week. So John Holstein, John_Holstein. If you get in touch, we will get you your copy of Neutron 3. And of course, we've also got a competition for this episode as well. We're looking for the hashtag #SetUpTheMix, which is one word, #SetUpTheMix, and the hashtag Neutron3 to @Sonicstate and @Isotope. That's on Twitter. That's the hashtag #SetUpTheMix and the hashtag Neutron3 to @Sonicstate and @Isotope3. And don't forget, it's actually Neutron 3 Advanced you get, not just the standard version. So you get a lot of prize for your cash there. So yes. Well, thank them very much for their continual support of the show. So here we go. This is a good, heartwarming story. Gibson returns Tom Oberheim trademark and brand to Tom Oberheim. This is, we've seen this around a couple of places. Gibson, as President and CEO James C. Shirley, have basically given back Oberheim brand and intellectual property. I'm not entirely sure what that pertains to at the moment because I don't know what they owned. And basically, it just said, let's do the right thing and giving it back to the hands of Tom Oberheim, which I think is a great gesture. It's a shame it couldn't have happened earlier, but who knows what goes on inside the company for these sort of things to happen. But it's kind of a nice story because Yamaha did the same with Dave Smith as well, which is, it's just, isn't it nice? Because Tom's a, you know, he's getting on in years now. He's an elderly, I wouldn't say old, I would say elder statesman of electronic music, shall we say.
Elder statesman.
Elder statesman, that sounds much better, doesn't it? Yeah, what a great story though.
Amazing story, and it's such a brilliant name though, Oberheim, isn't it? I mean, has there ever been any other famous Oberheims, people called Oberheim? It seems like it's almost like the name is so synonymous with awesome synths. It's like almost it's out of the realm of being a normal name.
It's like Hoover, isn't it? Yeah. It's almost Moog, and it's like play the Moog, play the Oberheim. There's a similar sort of
Oberheim. It's like almost got an arpeggiator in its name, isn't it? It's lovely. But yeah, Roland Oberheim. I'd like him to write into us, please. Just if he exists.
Yeah,
wow. Just a brilliant story, really, because I mean, this is the new Gibson now, isn't it? Who have taken over the brand.
Yeah.
And so it's quite interesting because some of the things that they've been doing, one of the things was they were taking Dean, the guitar maker Dean, to court over copyright infringements. But these sort of Dean have been making them since the 70s. These ones, which are, you know, there's like ones a bit like a Flying V, one like a bit like an Explorer. And that seemed like a really aggressive move, copyright move from this new Gibson. So
do you think this is a softener?
Now, which
see, we're really nice after all. We're nice guys.
Right. So I was like, well, I was quite pleased because I was thinking, oh dear, what's going to happen next? But I didn't see this coming. So yeah, so thumbs up. That's a good move. And Tom Oberheim, you know, we salute you. One of the absolute genius, amazing creators. We're so thankful for. Yeah, so him having his name back, you know, especially with it actually being his name as well, is a terrific story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I wonder, I don't know, I mean, Oberheim's massive in America, you know, that's the sort of the classic synth. Looks like we got a freeze there, so I'm not sure we're going to get any joy from those guys. So we're not having a good tech day today, are we? That's a bit of a shame. That still looks like it's a kind of reaching towards the browser. Yeah, you're having a good. You look great. Your camera looks great.
Yes. So this is an improvement. So it's swings and roundabouts. Oh well. Maybe they'll ring back in.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? I suppose. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the thing is with this is it seems like a really nice move, but you're very right. You know, a lot of these larger brands, particularly well-established ones, with Gibson, they sort of lost their way a little bit and diversified enormously and bought all of that copyright and sat on it, and they became the bad guy, and then they spent loads of money and it all went horribly wrong, and so their contraction and expansion over the last sort of 10 years of fate has been vast. So maybe this is it'll result in some good karma.
If anyone out there just does need to be reminded about how great Oberheims are, Dave Spears' demonstration he did for our Sonic Live thing was brilliant, wasn't it? I mean,
Oh yeah, that's the 8 voice. Yeah.
That was with the 8 voice, and just as soon as he started playing that in the room, I mean, it was mind blowing. It was really mind blowing. So that video, I thought was maybe a link in the show notes to it though, but
yeah, that's true.
That was a really terrific demonstration by Dave Spears, who always is great for the demo, isn't he?
He certainly is. In fact, I think he's been demoing some of the Summit patches that they did for the Summit as well recently. I noticed that they've started posting those. In fact, I just got an email before the show started. I think I'm going to be getting a Summit in for demo, so it'd be interesting to see how it is. But we'll check. Oh, we seem to have action over here again. I wonder if these guys are back in the room. Hello, testing 1 2. Come in studio 2.
Yeah, Dan Strings is back on.
Are you at the end of the line there, or is it just a low, just having trouble today with the bandwidth? Yeah, frozen again.
Oh dear. Oh, bit of movement.
In trouble today. About.
Yeah, I think that's not working so good.
Not working.
We might have to. Let's come back to you. We'll come back to you for a second because I think there might be a router reboot required.
I also, speaking about Dave Spears, I've been listening to his album. Dave's put out an album. What's it called now? Never Growing Up, I think, or something. Never Growing Old. And it's like a kind of autobiographical album where it's sort of his all different eras of music that's inspired him, and he's gone in and tried to be really historically accurate with the different eras. So there's like some tail end of the 1960s when he was a wee lad, sort of psychedelic-y stuff, and then moving through the 70s, a little bit of prog, and then there's and then it's more but like Dave's
it's all just
really,
jazz funk, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, that's where we're going to Dave's era, the 80s sort of jazz. But his songwriting, and what's also great on that album though is if you've got to hear Dave sing. He really sings. He sings some brilliant stuff on there. He's got a great voice, actually. So that's a bit of a revelation, but well worth checking out. And there's some excellent synth playing on it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, well you would hope so. Let's have a look. We might be able to come back to Studio 2.
Ooh,
hello,
Studio 2.
Hello. Come in, please.
Hello.
Yeah. So the Tom Oberheim thing, because I did ask. We took. It's a nice story, and kind of. I wonder what that will enable. Presumably, we might see some synths, because I mean, there's, there'll be point to putting your name to something if you can use it now, whereas previously it was a little bit. I don't know.
Well, he was selling synths. I don't know at what clip, but he was selling synths, and he will continue, I'm sure, as long as he wants to sell those synths. I don't know that this is going to blast him into some overdrive product development mode, although I wouldn't be sad if it did. But as you point out, Tom has been around longer than any of us, including me, and a very, very nice man when I met him at NAMM with my son. Took a very nice picture, and I was so honored to meet him because I think so highly of his gear. And I think it's wonderful in the spirit of Gibson never needed it to begin with, and never really did anything with it. So it's, as you point out, like Yamaha with sequential, it's a beautiful thing. I'm happy for these guys. These guys paved the way to all this stuff we're talking about. Well, helped along with the other guys we all know, Alan Perlman and Bob Moog and Don Buchla and all of those people, and the people who worked on those instruments with those guys at the time to develop them into something we all want to use.
I totally agree.
Great respect and great history for these guys, and at any time something like that happens where they get back something that they had given up corporately some years ago. It was a point where Robert Moog got the name Moog back, if I'm not mistaken, because it had actually come to belong to other people. So it's always a heartwarming thing, and we love these guys. They all happen to be really nice men too. At least every one of them I ever met.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious, actually, Ken. Do you get much Oberheim stuff through your shop? And if so, what sort of how is it to work on?
Oh, bags of it. Generally, they're already good. The 8, 4 and 2 voice systems can be a bit troublesome, but that was basically because of the way they were built. But the OBX and the A and the 8, yeah, fine to work on. Really good stuff.
I have a question.
Go on.
OBX sounds different from the XA and the 8.
Yeah,
Why?
different filter.
Different filter?
Completely different filter. In the OBX, it's a component-based filter.
Uh-huh.
It's akin
That
to
makes sense.
the 4 and 8 voice filter.
Understood.
Yeah, and then you go on to Curtis, and they add more Curtis as they went along.
Understood.
And the auto tuning got faster.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it didn't. No, sorry, it got slower. You beg your pardon.
Now, you know I'm not romantic about very many keyboards, but the OBX actually, and I'm also, I love XAs and the OB8 as well, which is what kind of became of all of that. But the original OBX had a certain density and fatness and
I prefer the
coolness.
OB8,
Okay.
but only because I have to carry them. The OBX is, I don't know, I think they hide lead in there somewhere or something. They're really, really heavy.
Well,
Interesting.
What was the
Sorry,
Oberheim that Geddy Lee used a lot of in Rush? Which Oberheim was that? Well,
There's a
he may have
question.
he might have actually used a lot of them actually.
It might have been a Matrix 12, but I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. It may have come before Matrix 12. So I'm not that. I've seen Rush, but I'm not as conversant in their history.
There's a wait a sec. Scott from Canada says Jedi had the OBX after the 8
OBX.
voice. There we go.
I think I saw him play the 8 voice on an old video. I think around is it Exit Stage Left? He might be playing an 8 voice on that. But it's funny. Geddy Lee though is really one of the people who kind of he sometimes is overlooked when it comes to being an influential person in the synth world. And certainly, is it Oberheim, that Tom Sawyer, or is it a Prophet that makes that classic at the beginning of Tom Sawyer? Which has got to be
you're
for a
not
lot of
talking a
people.
language I understand, I'm afraid. So I have to leave you guys to work it out.
Someone's going to know that answer. But I reckon
yeah.
for a lot of people, that was the first time they knowingly heard a synth. Really, I think.
Yeah, no, you
And
could
is
be
it the
right.
same one that goes wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo wee woo?
That bit's a bit later, but yeah, the same.
Yeah, right. But I'm saying, is it
Cool.
the same one that's that, for example?
Come on,
must admit,
this is a chat room.
It's a chat room brain. Well, while you're thinking about it, because I very nearly, I had a little bit of money about 2 years ago, and I really nearly bought a 2-voice Pro because Simon Forsyth, who is a sort of friend of Sonic's, he's from the South Coast, has recently joined a nomadic lifestyle and got a really fancy van and is now living the life around, because he works a lot of TV engineering, so he's on site lots of times, so he now lives in his transportation, which sounds like quite really nice in the summer. He brought a 2-voice Pro, a 2-voice here for me to just listen to, and I'd never heard one before, and it absolutely blew my mind. I have to say, I was really, really. It just sounded so amazing. The reason I'm looking around a lot is because I've just unplugged my headphones and I'm trying to find the lead to. So you have to talk amongst yourselves for a bit while I do that. Hold on a second.
Well, when I got my job in the music store in 1977, the first Oberheim synthesizer I played with was the 2-voice, with that wonderful little tiny sequencer in it, and it sounded phenomenal. I was blown away. I had never heard anything like it, and I still have such a tremendous affection for the SEM-derived Oberheim sound, and how with so few controls you can make so much out of that synthesizer, and it's magnificent.
Yeah.
I'm pitching 2-pole filters now.
I'm just going to jump in with a quick update from the chat room. I think so. I think the lead line that is a Minimoog, but the rest is OBX.
That's right.
So
Okay.
yes, thank you very much. That's Scott from Canada. But there's a lot of
Presenting new.
Oops, wrong one. Let's see.
Hey.
I'm back. I'm back in the room. But every time I move, because I haven't got quite enough length on the phone extension, which is really irritating. Because I'm trying the headphones behind the head so that you don't get the blue light, the blue side. Anyway, okay. Well, that's isn't that a lovely story though? And I think I like a bit more of that. And hopefully we may see some more Oberheim product or some more Oberheim branded stuff. And as regards when they bought the brand, I wonder what the intellectual property that they got, because I'm guessing it was around the time of Matrix 12, Matrix 1000, Matrix 6, that sort of era. And I think the only product that was released during that phase was some sort of organ, wasn't it? It was like an Oberheim organ, which just seemed kind of a bit of a strange concept. Or was there something else? Does anyone remember what products there was? Like one, I think. Oh,
what are we talking about now? Oberheim?
They got hold of the Oberheim brand, didn't they? Viscount, the Italian brand, and they started putting out things with Oberheim on, and they would make organs and various things. So I don't know, maybe the organ comes from that, and then I'm guessing Gibson acquired that company or
maybe that sounds more like it. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Okay, right. Sorry,
so you're talking about products. You're talking about products after
the
Tom
Gibson
had lost the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before he lost the company, there were products nobody's ever seen. There was a guitar amp. There was a phase shifter. Yeah, I actually product lit on my Facebook page from back in the day from Oberheim that shows these things. There was a digital sequencer. He had a whole bunch of products before he became known as the massive synth guy.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, look.
Presenting new.
He had a ring modulator. John Hammer used to use his ring modulator on stage with the Television Orchestra.
Oberheim Echoplex digital.
Well, that was later. That was post-Tom product, the Echoplex.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay. Well, interesting.
So those are later products that you're looking at now.
Didn't they do something that was like an OB12 or something? It was a blue coloured.
Matrix 12, I think.
No. This is much later. And the shops were literally using them for firewood. They couldn't get rid of them. I can't remember what it was, because I think it was Viscount built or something.
Okay.
Some sort of unit.
Okay.
Well,
if you look at the Oberheim latest on my page, you'll see a bunch of stuff. It would take you a while to dig it out now, Nick. I don't know if you really want to do that.
Yeah, I probably won't get a chance to do that at the moment. I'm having a bad tech today myself at the moment. Right. Okay. All right. Let's get on to there's another one that I wanted to talk about, because I just thought it was kind of fascinating. Where did I actually did have a story on this, which I don't seem to have. Let's just open the page on this one. Here we go. This is fascinating. So basically, I don't know if you know, there's a software DX7 6-op synth which reads original patches. It's called DexEd, and it was a sort of GitHub kind of repository thing. And it was, I think I downloaded it to use to see if I could edit the Reface DX to see if the parameters matched up and whatnot. Because not only does it read the parameters, but it spits out the hex code that DX7's can use in terms of editors. So it's an editor stroke simulator at the same time. And there's a chap called what's his name? He's called George Rosar, who's done a sort of iOS port for it, which I have here, has just announced it. And it's $3.99, and he's added 640,000 DX patches from I think it's 22,000 cartridges, which I mean, I didn't even know that you could find that many. But I mean, I remember myself collecting loads of patches, and I thought, wow. Now, if ever you wanted the history of FM, right there, that's $3.99 US, and it loads on an iPad Pro or an iPhone 6 and up, I believe. It's crazy. And you can, and it takes they said it takes ages to unpack. It's like 30 minutes to kind of, because there's so much data on there. But he's ran all these kind of algorithms on it to remove duplicates. But if you want 640,000 6-op FM patches, Gaz, then you can have them.
No. How is it? Does it do AUV3? Do you know?
Yes, it does. It does an AUV3 as well.
Oh my God! Yeah, God, that's a bit crazy, isn't it? I mean, 640,000. Wow. How does that work then from the copyright, though? Surely that's sort of...
that's very good. I don't know. I guess it might have actually expired by now. But I worked it out. There's... what did I say? Yeah, if you listened for each one for 10 seconds, it would take you 74 full days to listen to all the patches in that library. So, Rich, thinking about how about that for a holiday?
And how are they categorized in groups in the 10,000s?
Yeah, God knows. Wowzer.
I have to, of course, as with any software synthesizer, you'd have to hear it. But let's assume it sounds as good or better than FM7 and FM8, which to me sound fine. Let's assume it sounds as good or better. Do I really want 640,000 patches?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have
Because
thought
I suppose I could probably buy those freestanding for not more than 200 each, or for one of them, and you only need one of them, or less. It might even be like 79. I don't even know what they sell it for as a freestanding product, but it's no $400.
No, this is
So
only
to me,
$3.99.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, yeah, I am, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Pardon me. Forgive me.
Yeah, here we go. It's
lack-
right here. $3.99, the Dex Ed synth with 640,000 patches. Wow. I guess the thing with that is, I mean, because really you want to tag. You'd want to
Not
tag.
only do I have to sort the 640,000 patches, but I have to sort through it on this thing?
Imagine. I don't know.
It says no copyright on
because
patches.
I used to refer to the DX7 as looking at a construction site through a tiny little hole in the fence. And now this actually brings that thing to life even more, because now you have a real hole in the fence and you've got 640,000 patches to look at before you even look at 6 operators and how they're interacting.
Yeah, I just think it's a really fascinating idea. I mean, good for him for doing it.
Yeah, $4,
but
it's great value.
Yeah,
and I do like FM, the sound of FM synths. I know this is almost blasphemous.
I'm going to get it straight.
You're going to buy it, Gaz?
But it's got
Car. But 600. The browser's got to have to be good, though, isn't it? I mean, to navigate, to make the most of that library, you really need to have a really good browser. So
well, looking at this, it looks like it's a 32 drop down. So you're doing it in banks. So hold on, how many banks of 32 is in 640,000? That's a lot. That's going to be. So hold on, 640,000. That's going to be 320,000. It's going to be so it's divided by. Oh God, hold on. I'm going to do some maths. A quick bit of maths here. So that's 640,000 divided by 32. 640,000 divided by 32.
Work it out. Yeah.
20,000 banks.
Right. So 20,000 banks. You can't have a list of 20,000.
I don't know how it's going to work.
List in there now, right? Your wife is going to die of a heart attack answering the door because you keep thinking it's the doorbell going on.
Yeah. And the bird tweet as well. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's and the crickets. I think there's an insect stuck in the control room. Yeah. But okay, but this brings up another question, which is how many patches is too many patches? I mean, you get these kind of questions, don't you? It's like, okay, some synths come with, like, I don't know, the System 8 comes with only a few banks of 64, but per machine. But it's not like tons and tons and tons. DeepMind 12 comes with what, 1,000 patches or 500. Yeah. So how many? How many is too much? Because after a while, you just think, it seems like a diminishing.
640,000.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 0 and 640,000 lies the answer to that question.
It depends on the cataloguing as well, doesn't it? You can catalogue batches of sounds that you can go through them nice and quickly. But if if the sounds are named just willy-nilly that don't really reflect what the sound is.
Willy-nilly 1, willy-nilly 2.
Yeah, willy-nilly 3.
Yeah. Super Moog.
That should be a category. There should be a browser category called willy-nilly, though, I think, for when you just can't decide which category it belongs in. We should make that a standard, just chuck it in the willy-nilly category.
Well,
I'll tell you what it is. This is actually
64 of them, you can have Willy and Nilly.
Well, this is the show title right here.
Yeah, that
willy-nilly 1, willy-nilly 2, willy-nilly 3. There we go. That's the show title.
1 Willie, 2 Millie, 3
So,
Willie 2.
I don't know, but I mean, it does raise an interesting question because I mean, the DX7 was one of the reasons why we became so dependent on presets because it was so
good
difficult
point.
to bloody program, and there was nothing to grab on the front panel. You know, there have been others. That the D50, possibly the two biggest drivers of the whole sort of patch market, the whole industry that surrounds it, and the way
Then
that
the M1,
synthesizers, but they were more editable because then we got into kind of at least a sort of matrix and screens. There was a sort of system.
Yeah,
the systems of
true.
accessing all these parameters became, developed. The language of it became developed, and then as we've had more synths, that it's like having an analog synth with a million patches on it feels a bit. But always, I tell you, every time I review a synth, if it's just an analog synth, where it's a Pittsburgh or the Behringer Neutron or any of those things, people always go, oh, does it not have patch memories? I'm not interested. And you sort of think, why not? I mean, is it a psychological... Why would you not want... I mean, I suppose there are some reasons why you would definitely need patches. I mean, Rich, if you actually had to kind of construct all the patches between numbers for Chic Live, it would be a very stressful gig for you, I presume.
That day's never coming.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of
No
time
way.
to make sure that day never comes. But then again, the range of textures that I might have to provide during an average Chic show is probably smaller than those that you might need to provide in a more synth-derived environment. There's only some emulative synth stuff that I have to do, but that's not really what you wanted to talk about. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is an interface for 640,000 patches.
Yeah.
So in
is a comedy routine.
Sorry, Rick.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a fantastic product.
Yeah.
Somebody who has absolutely nothing else to do.
I was going to say, though, just for the no patch thing, in Asteroid Deluxe, the space rock band I play, and Helen, the keyboard player, she plays an octave kitten, which I think, is it like half a cat, a kitten?
We got a kitten. We got a little black kitten. It's called Nugget.
Actually, the Octave Cat, was it a complete clone of the ARP Odyssey, or is it quite a bit different? Because someone said it was like almost control for control the same.
They thought they were going after the mode.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought so. The marketing guys talked more about Moog than ARP at the time. They were in Long Island City, which wasn't far from where I was in retail when these things were released, so I actually met some people.
With the architecture, the front lends to the Odyssey.
Yeah, it's laid out more like sort of, but it doesn't have the...
No, but electronically, it's nothing like the Odyssey or the Mini.
So the kitten then, I mean, what was the cut down version of the Odyssey? Was it the kick? No, what was it? I can't remember what it was called now. There was the axe.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming then that the kitten was like to market wise was to pitch it at the same sort of space as because the reason why I'm saying this is that she reprograms the kitten on the fly during our gigs, and she's very, very quick at it. But we do have to build into our arrangements that time for her to manually repatch it
I understand.
Yeah. That's another great show title there. That's a good show title there, that Reprogram the Kitten on the Fly. Actually, we just got a kitten. I published a little photo of it the other day, and everybody on Facebook was going, I bet you only bought it so you only got a kitten so that you could do more synth memes. And I was thinking, there's so much truth in that. If I just brought the kitten to work and put it on some synths while I was reviewing, our viewing figures would go through the roof, and I wouldn't have to do anything. I'd just have a kitten walking around on a load of synths. But it's very tempting, it feels very exploitative and also very lazy. And I wonder,
what, exploiting the kitten?
Yeah.
No, they exploit us for all we're worth.
You think?
They do.
Yeah. You put a dish of milk at the end of that R-backs and let her rip.
He's only 12. He's only 12 weeks old, so it's probably not fair. And also, he's not allowed out yet, so that's not going to work.
Oh, and I do believe you've posted your first fishing video as well, Nick.
I did, yes, my first fishing video. I'm not at all prepared for this because I played it before the show, and I thought, just sort of because nobody's watched it, so I think the only way I could do it is to expose myself to a much wider audience, which is the one I've got on Sonic. and then I forgot what the URL is for the channel that I've started, so it backfired terribly. But yes, I have.
Oh,
That's my first one. My first
cool.
fishing video. I'm going to do another one as soon as the wind drops again, because I've got to get out there. But we'll see how it goes. It's a bit of fun. Actually, it's a way, what I'm figuring out. It's a way for me to deduct, make my hobby tax deductible, which is the plan. So all I have to do is earn a tiny bit of revenue from YouTube on it, and then I can put all the expenses against it. That's the idea.
Crafty.
God, it's 5 o'clock. Is it that time already? I don't know if we're going to get through all the rest. Have we got any more topics? I can't even remember. It feels like we're struggling a little bit with delay and breaking internet. So maybe tonight, this time is a good time to say goodbye, unless you've got anything very specific you want to talk about, Gaz. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up before we say our goodbyes?
Just trying to think. I've been doing lots and lots of music tech over the last few weeks. Just trying to think what's kind of relevant or interesting. Looking around. I think I might have mentioned to you, I've been having some glorious times with the Polyend Dreadbox Medusa now with the version 2 software. That's just become. Oh, we were talking about we're going to do some sort of drone stuff, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that's if you're into your drones, then you got to check out the way the Medusa version 2 works, because you can have all these different tuned drones, so you can actually play it like a drone machine, but also play it almost like a kind of
an actual synthesizer
drone. Yeah, which is a little bit peculiar. I should probably make a video about that. But and also, for me, a big thing that I've been doing though is preparing for an absolute, a load of new video content. So for my new cameras and my new bits and bobs. So I shall just plug that again, because there's going to be a lot more coming from me very soon.
Hooray! Good to hear.
Hooray.
And everybody will be very keen to see that, I'm sure, Gaz. Well, thank you very much for that.
I hope so.
Matt, you guys, Rich, you haven't got a gig tonight, presumably? Is your next gig tomorrow, or you're gigging tonight?
My next gig is on Saturday.
Ooh.
At the Royal Festival Hall on the South Bank.
Wow.
Something called Meltdown Festival. And on Sunday, I'm going home for a few weeks.
Whoa. How about that?
That hasn't happened in a long time. And I'm quite looking forward to it, actually, as much as I love what we do and love the people who come to see us do it. I could certainly use a couple of weeks at home.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be great.
Nice.
Well, and that sounds good. And Kent, no doubt you've got people phoning you up all the time saying, "Where's my synth?"
Yeah.
In fact, I'm sure there was someone in the comments saying, "Hold on a minute, shouldn't you be fixing?" No, they weren't doing that.
I'm actually working on one of Dave Spears' keyboards at the moment, which is a Prophet 5 Rec 2 that has exploded.
Oh, ouch! Is that a power supply thing?
No. Something's gone on the digital board and it's taken half of his voice board out with it.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. So have you got like boxes and boxes of bits for these particular synths and sort of spare parts that you could just, I guess that must be an ever decreasing amount of stock.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Behringer has really helped out. Bringing all these clones out and, getting lots of reissues of certain ICs and stuff like that has really helped things along.
So you can get hold of those components, right?
Well, I mean, because at one time a day, if you wanted a Curtis 3340 IC VCO, you £100 plus shipping and all the rest of it. Now I can get them here the following day for £4, which is something that would never have happened at one time a day. If somebody said I was going to be buying, Curtis at £4 and getting it to the door next day, I wouldn't believe them.
Right. Well, there you go.
Now it's reality.
Well, there is some good news there. That's great. All right, folks.
Can I just
Oh yeah, sorry.
Nick, can I just I'm playing a free gig on Friday. I just want to just promote it because it's a really interesting one because it's part of the Homeless World Cup, which is a really great event actually. It's a big footballing event. It's taking place in Cardiff this year. I think there's over 50 countries taking place, but there's some entertainment going on as well. It's all free. It's so the event itself's worth checking out. But I'm playing with the Charlotte Church Pop Dungeon Friday evening about 7 o'clock or something in Cardiff, Butte Park. So if you're local or not even local, come down. It's worth coming for the event, regardless of the music. But I just wanted to plug it because it's free and cool as well. So,
Excellent. That sounds like a worthy.
you should come, Nick. You should come. You should.
Friday.
Are you
did
not?
say?
Look at him thinking of excuses.
No, I'm just thinking. It's possible. It's possible. It might be possible. I've got a kit. Yeah, I've got a kitten to look after. Yeah, no, I might be able to look after. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and efforts. We will see you all soon. And don't forget, if you want to enter the Isotope competition, we're looking for the hashtag. What did I say it was? Set up the mix and the hashtag. Where did I put it there? Neutron3 to @Sonicstate and @Isotope Egg. Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye now.